Hi, my name is Sana Crispina Flores, and I wanted to take a moment and talk to you about the Do Remember Me project. In 2007, I had been witnessing, after working with several organizations within Philadelphia, that the youth, especially young men of color, were starting to have words like epidemic and disease attached to them, especially with the escalating violence within their communities. They had no voice. They had no way of expressing themselves, with programs being shut down, and I thought that it would be interesting to interview them and give them a voice, put them behind a camera, in front of a camera, show them how to edit, show them how to take their words and become lyrics and research for statistical data and put this all together to create a living viral project. The result was, in 2009, Mind TV allowed us to go into production. A small 5-minute movie was made. But the interesting thing was that the young men that participated decided to tell their friends and tell their friends. And so now we get together and we meet. But not only do we meet, we reach out to other cities, other countries, and connect these youth, dispelling myths and finding the ground that is common between them and giving them a voice, saying, "Hello, I am still here. Remember me." Thank you.
Brother, are you there?
The number of juveniles victimized by violent crimes increased 6%, reaching the highest level in 9 years. There were 1,030 gunshot victims ages 7 to 24, an average of about 2.8 gunshot victims per day in Philadelphia.
Are you ready? You're a man now. See all this? When you man up, all this could be yours.
4, 5, 6, 7.
I'm not a statistic.
I'm not a soldier.
Most victims were male, and a disproportionately high percentage were African American males.
Yeah, I ain't gonna let you go. I know times get rough. I'ma stick it out. It's me and you.
These type of things, like every day in America, like not just as Africans as child soldiers, you see child soldiers as people that you see on the corners and everything every day, like child soldiers everywhere out here. That's what I feel.
When you talk about the paradigm of death and getting everything done before you die, because you start thinking, I'm not going to be here long, that comes from going to funerals. Look at all the funerals young people are going to. I never went to a funeral of a young person when I was young. These kids are going to funerals every other week of somebody who was killed. And this is something they have to process. So when we talk about soldiers of war, they also have the results of all the illnesses of grief,
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
all of those things, the disease, that then exacerbates into drug addiction, alcoholism. So you got a lot of young men who are drug addicted, alcoholics, before they become grown really. And then we expect them to be the role models and have children that they parent, husbands to wives.
One of the things that was interesting to me, just in reading about the premise of the piece and the idea was that
I mean, I guess I grew up in the hood or whatever, and you know, you develop certain survival skills, you see things, you go through things, but I know I never thought of myself as, say, a child soldier. I never thought of myself as necessarily in the struggle while I was in it. Like, after being told the premise, after going through this experience, can you sort of see where I guess a normal American kid might not be going through some of the things that we did growing up, where we did. I guess what I'm trying to say is like the realization that it's not normal.
So we can't kick up under the rug as to what's happening in our country, our home state, our hometown, our community, our streets. We can't kick that up under the rug. For us to have it in America and it is kicked up under the rug and not addressed, it's heartbreaking to me because I see it every day and I have to go through it every day.
As a kid, to be honest with you, man, I got into a good look seeing that happen when I was a kid. You know, especially when I grew up at, because I grew up in the small town of Black Alabama. You know, it's not as big as Philly at all. It's more of it's a country town with nothing but inner city, nothing but inner city. So for me, I never thought I would actually be leaving my city when I was a kid. You know, I just figured that, you know, the most I would ever do was, like everybody else in my city, you know, go to high school, marry my high school sweetheart, start coaching or start having like probation officers and all that stuff. You know, they kind of put me on a different path. It was like,
these statistics into myths is not as far as, you know, I wouldn't say dispelling myths. You want, as a black man, as a black young man, because, you know, y'all haven't even lived life yet. I haven't even really lived life yet, to be honest with you. So, you know, getting to a point where you're about to, you know, experience life at its full capacity, you know, focus on, you know, creating, you know, new statistics now, as you know, the future of the black community. That's what it is. You have to create statistics now, new statistics, not those you know, statistics that generate, you know, a negative outlook and, you know, reputation for black males in the black community.
Just a little passion, just a little bit of your passion. Just a little passion.
Remember. Me.